Hey students, it's Quinn here to talk about when you submit or write an assignment, write up an assignment or a journal entry for me, and what I'm looking for when it comes to putting together a really good piece of writing. Now, of course, the big picture here is that if we can work on and practice making your writing persuasive and influential and convincing here, then when you go out in the big bad world, you'll be able to do a great job with your emails, moving forward and working at a real job. So make sure, number one, make sure you stick to the word count. If I give you 200 to 300 words, get it in 200 to 300 words. If I give you 100, you should probably be about close to 100. If I'm between 750 to 1250, give me that amount of words. The second thing you need to take into consideration is paragraphs. Now, it's tempting just to write it all up, especially when I only give you 200 to 300 words to express yourself. But white space helps the reader understand what it is that you're writing better. The white space gives our brains a chance to easily divide things, and the easier something is to read, the more memorable it's going to be. So make sure that you give me some paragraphs, divide up your thoughts. When you do this, do it with your emails, but get in the practice of splitting things up. Another thing that makes your writing easy to pay attention to is short sentences. Please try to avoid run-on sentences. Anywhere that you see a comma or an and, colon, semicolon, it's probably a great time just to put a period in there and start a new sentence. Again, the easier something is to read, the more energy our brains can spend actually remembering or packing into our memories the thing that you are trying to actually say. All right, next one is exclamation points. In the business world, we hardly ever use exclamation points. In your personal expression, your social media, texting with the family, exclamation points, you use them however you want. In the professional world, I like to say you have 5 that you can use for your entire career. And if you use one, that goes away. So for the full 40, 45 years that you're going to be out in the professional world, you get 5 exclamation points. So for the most part, you're not ever going to use them. So all caps and exclamation points in the business world mean that you are yelling at someone. So again, we very, very sparingly use the exclamation point. Save it for your personal life. Punctuation is another one that we run into, not just exclamation marks, but commas, lack of commas, periods where they shouldn't be, capitalization issues. Sometimes if you're submitting an assignment on your phone, you will run into a problem where it won't capitalize the first letter in a sentence or something. You're going to get docked if I catch that kind of stuff. Now, one of the things that I talk about a lot in marketing and sales and anything in presentation, default intros. We hate default intros. If you are going to put energy and effort into a presentation, then come at me strong with the introduction, right? So, an example of a default intro would be if I ask the question, where's the best place on campus to study? The default answer, and if I give a group of students that question, I have them write me a submission, 95% of the time, the default intro that I'm going to get is the best place on campus to study is, right? That is also one of the quickest ways to get somebody to fall asleep on you, okay? A presentation in class, what's the default intro? Hi, my name is so and so, and this is my teammates, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to talk about dot, dot, dot. Snooze fest, right? You've already put your audience to sleep. So do not give me a default intro. Work hard at finding something creative and catchy, interesting. Get me involved, get me caught. I've had a couple. One entry had a student write about how he spends all day looking at guys' butts for his job. And then he goes on to explain that he works for a custom suit company, and he has to check and see how pants fit. But you start your intro with, I look at dudes' butts all day, and I'm going to pay attention to that. Another great example from my own life, I was reading a book, or I started a book a few years ago, and the introduction, the very first sentence, the whole book was, I hate David Beckham. What a great intro. All of a sudden I'm interested. I want to know what's in this book, and hey, let's read this thing. Okay? Give me something interesting, give me something creative. Do not give me a default intro. If you do, I will dock you and I will put in the comments default intro, give me something different. Okay? Filler is another one that I absolutely hate. If you write a sentence and you can cross something out and it doesn't change the sentence meaning at all, you should probably just get rid of it. A great example is at the end of the day. That's business lingo, and it's business filler that we just sometimes we throw in because we think, this is a good way to say it. But we want to be succinct, we want to be non-default, and we want to not rely on catchphrases or phrases that don't mean anything. Okay. ROL, read it out loud. Okay. I think that it's really, really valuable for you to go through and read whatever you've written, read it out loud. Go line, line, sentence by sentence. If I ever write a really important email, I will sit at my computer and read the email syllable by syllable so that I know that I didn't accidentally put something in there that was spelled right but seems dumb, spelled right but means something else, or if it just is hard to understand when I read it out loud, then I need to rewrite that. If it sounds weird, if it sounds strange, if it doesn't make any sense to you, it's not going to make any sense to the customer, to the boss, to whoever you're writing your email to whoever you're submitting your assignment to. Okay? I am going to allow you to use AI when you write. I highly suggest that you do it. The world, of course, is taking advantage of this technology. You should as well. Now, AI does not do a very good job of making writing sound human. And I think most of us, and you guys in particular, the younger generation, are really quick at picking up slop. You're really quick at picking up AI generated images, AI generated video, and you're getting better and better at picking up AI generated content, AI generated writing. So you're going to write it. Put it together. It might be pretty cruddy. You might not be a spectacular writer, but throw your thoughts together and then edit it and work on it. Then you're going to put it into AI. Have Claude or Gemini or whatever you use go through, clean up the grammar, make sure the spelling makes sense, and any other suggestions that don't change the human voice of your writing. Have it fix it, bring it back out, read it out loud, make sure that it makes sense, and then you submit it. Do not just submit what you get out of the AI bot, or else you're also going to get docked for that. Okay? Okay, so I'm jumping around a little bit here, but I want to go back to the default intros. One of the quickest and easiest ways to come up with a non-default intro is to just start writing. It can be really overwhelming to sit there staring at a blank computer screen thinking, what am I going to write? It's got to be interesting. Quinn's got to get, it's got to be good for Quinn, or he's going to dock me points. Just start writing. Just start writing, and you'll get going, and a few sentences in, you might see something, and you'll say, oh, hey, that sounds pretty good. And you just take that thing and you figure out how to make it your intro and you put it up at the beginning. And now we've got a non default intro. And I'm applauding as I grade. And I'm so happy that you gave me something not boring to begin your writing with. So just get started, just get writing. Your non-default intro will pop up someplace and you'll be good to go. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is the actual, so we've got a non-default intro, something that gets us involved quick, something that catches our attention. Then we're going to have the information, and then we're going to wrap up with a conclusion. Conclusion just really succinct, really straightforward, just restate what we're doing here. It doesn't have to be spectacular as much as the intro does. But the other thing that I would argue is that when you're putting together that non-default information and close, if you can give me a story in there and just stick to like one topic, one thing, one story, that is going to be much better than giving me generalities, right? Human brains love stories. So if I ask you again about where's a great place to study on campus, and you have a personal story where you were at a place and you fell asleep and you slept for 5 straight hours and nobody disturbed you, and you finally, they were closing the library and you had to wake up and go home so you could go to bed, like that kind of thing is going to be more valuable to me. It's going to do a better job of conveying what you're trying to say, and I'm going to enjoy it more. I love reading good writing. So give me a story, keep it simple. You don't need to tell me a bunch. Again, in most of these cases, you've only got 200 to 300 words to tell me what you need to tell me. But give me a story. Give me something from your personal life that demonstrates exactly what you're talking about. Thanks for joining me. As you know, you can come back and watch this video at any time to help remind you of what needs to happen with these assignments. But thanks for taking the time to get it figured out.